Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Alex. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. This is episode number 29. It's actually the Long 2 NBA podcast. I forgot to say that. I'm with my host, Nathan.
What's going on,
co-host,
guys?
Nathan.
Yep, what's going on?
How's it going, dude?
Good.
So, before we get into anything, thank you guys for 2,800 subscribers. I was just thanking you guys for 2,600 on the last episode. So, that's 200 subscribers in a week. That's insane. So, thank you guys a lot for that. Channel's growing, and I'm really appreciative of it. I like having success, you know? Everyone does. So, I woke up yesterday to a shit ton of like Woj tweets and Shams tweets and texts from you and Seth.
Yeah.
And that was at like 10:30. I was sleeping late because I don't have class till noon. But anyways, and it's all Anthony Davis stuff.
Yeah.
Like Seth was like, "Yo, Woj nuke," and you said, I can't remember what you said.
Something about AD.
Something about AD, and all the tweets were. So I caught all up on it. So Anthony Davis has requested a trade from the New Orleans Pelicans, or at least Rich Paul notified the Pelicans organization that, what was the quote? It was like, he won't accept this extension.
He has no intention.
No intention of signing the extension if and when it's presented, and thus has requested a trade.
Yeah.
So that is some big news, obviously. It's been a day since the trade request happened, so I'm not as like fired up about it as I was before, but it's still a super interesting topic. So
For sure.
So I guess there's no pressure placed on them to trade him before the deadline, right?
Absolutely not.
And apparently he still plans to play out the rest of this season, which I don't see that working out well. For
not
one,
for the Pelicans.
because I mean, it's different than the NFL, because if you can't hold out in the NBA, or else you're not eligible for your extension, or you're not eligible for anything really.
Yeah.
If you hold out and don't play. So
yeah.
So here's the problem with this for me, is that the Lakers, or I'm sorry, I was looking at
Pelicans.
Yeah, the Pelicans want to get him out of there quickly, because if they don't, that's going to be a weird locker room vibe and a distraction in general for the team.
Yeah.
And just overall bad for the organization, right?
Yeah.
But the other side of it is you want the best offer, but the best offer might not come until the off season. So you've got to make a choice here, whether or not you want to have this distraction or, move on sooner than later.
It's the Lakers pressuring the Pelicans to the maximum. Because think about it. Anthony Davis says he's going to play out the full season. Well, that's no good. Like, why do we need him to play out the full season? He's going to hurt our chance of getting a good pick.
Right.
So, hey, AD, go
That's
tell
another
the
good
Pelicans.
point. They want a good draft pick.
Exactly. So Rich Paul probably said, hey, AD, go tell him, I'm playing the rest of the season. They're going to start thinking.
That puts them in a weird
They're going to
spot.
start thinking, oh, this is going to put our pick in jeopardy. We don't have really a direction right now.
Huh.
All of this to me leads to obviously Los Angeles. Obviously, he's pressuring them.
That's the other thing the other thing that came out was Rich Paul and Anthony Davis, or at least Rich Paul is expected to release a statement saying his preferred destination is the Lakers. If not, then he's going to be a rental for, until he becomes a free agent in 2020.
Yeah.
So a team who trades for him now that isn't Los Angeles, which we'll get into in a little bit, could trade for him on their roster, have a year and a half of Anthony Davis playing with whoever they have to try to make a title run or whatever. And if they win a championship, it's worth it. But if not, then you can trade Anthony Davis again and flip him for even more assets. So you can make up for the assets you traded for him and get some back. You know? So to me, I would do that if I'm a team like, I don't know, the Raptors or the Trailblazers, or really any team that isn't, somewhere he wants to play, which everyone's expecting it to come out and be LA. I would do it.
I think if you're a great organization like the Raptors, you saw what happened with Paul George.
Right. That's the reason they took the risk on Kawhi.
Paul George is from LA.
Yeah.
He said, "Trade me to the Lakers."
He told Indiana, "I'm not going to resign here. I plan to sign with Los Angeles."
With Los Angeles, so only trade me there. Blah blah blah. Same deal. 1 year rental. Blah. This and that. Maybe he didn't come out and state 1 year rental. I'm not totally sure if he said that, but
I can't remember. I just know he told them. That was a while ago. It seems like.
It feels like a while ago. This is Paul George's second year with the Thunder.
Yeah. So it really wasn't that long ago.
No, and it's also.
I thought for sure after the first round exit.
Yeah.
That was going to be it.
Yeah.
But then the love he developed for
Exactly,
the
that's
city
where I
and the
was going.
chemistry he developed
Yeah.
with Westbrook.
When you play with a great organization, if he were to go to Toronto, I think Toronto's going to keep Kawhi. I'm leaning
Toronto's
towards,
a beautiful city.
I think
It gets cold and whatnot, but that comes
Exactly.
with the territory of playing for them, and they're a great organization.
And to me, you can do more with Toronto than you can with LA if you're really marketable, because Canada's it's a whole country.
Right.
You know, it's not.
Yeah.
I know
Everybody
LA's
there's
big.
Raptors fans if
Yeah.
they like basketball. Usually.
I know LA's big, but if you're playing as well as if you're Anthony Davis in Toronto, Kawhi's probably the least marketable superstar.
That's true.
Ever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't talk.
Just because of that.
Exactly.
He's not very expressive and whatnot.
Does he even have social media?
Barely. If he does, he doesn't use it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, we know he's a big time player. He's young. He's gonna sell a crap ton of jerseys if he goes there.
Oh,
People
man.
aren't gonna be buying
Can you imagine
Kawhi.
Kawhi Leonard and Anthony Davis? Even
Together?
if it's just for one season. To me, they win the East.
Easily?
Because they're not going to
Not
have to
even
get,
close.
Because they have so many role players. Like, they'll probably have to give up, like, Siakam at least.
Easily.
Probably
yeah.
Kyle Lowry, too. I mean,
I don't think they want Kyle Lowry.
The Pelicans not because they have Drew Holiday. But you have to get some
I
kind
think
of
they're done.
at least all-star,
Yeah,
right?
I think Drew Holiday's gone too.
We'll
but-
get to potential deals.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but-
Drew Holiday said 90% of the reason that
Yeah.
he even re-signed with the Pelicans was because of Anthony
so
Davis.
he's like,
So
trade me.
yeah, that was kind of a nudge. Like, hey, if he's leaving, I don't really want to
Yeah,
be
he's
here
like,
either.
hey, this is awkward.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah.
still, even if it's just for one season,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's if you have Kawhi Leonard and Anthony Davis plus your other solid supporting cast.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's insane. And if they win a championship or at least get to the finals and closely lose, to me that's enough evidence. Hey, let's run it back.
Yeah.
We could both play here together, maybe get another star.
Yeah.
And then
To me,
boom, you've got a super team or
if-
championship team in Toronto. Even if you don't
yeah,
have the third star.
If Anthony Davis or Rich Paul, whatever, you know, was serious about, hey, I want to win.
Yeah.
Let's say he does go to LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant's got a great situation in Golden State right now.
Right.
I wouldn't be shocked if he stayed. I wouldn't be
I
shocked
wouldn't
if
be shocked
Clay
if he
stayed.
stayed.
Clay said he was. I mean, Clay said he likes it here. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
After,
Real quick side note on Clay.
yeah,
Apparently, if the Lakers do end up getting Anthony Davis and the Warriors don't offer Clay
The
the
max.
max, he's going to shift his focus towards LA. That's what Woj said he heard.
Yeah.
Or sources have told him.
I don't think that's
So
gonna
two
happen.
things have to happen there. The Warriors have to not offer him the max,
Mhm.
and the Lakers have to get Anthony Davis for that to happen.
And I think the Warriors are going to take care of Clay
Probably.
because they're not going to re-sign Boogie.
No.
Personally, I don't think
Unless Kevin Durant leaves, they're not going to re-sign Boogie.
exactly, and they don't have money for the little 5 All-Star thing they got going
No.
now. No one does.
Right.
Draymond Green's probably going to want an extension.
Yeah, he's not going to get a max, though.
He's not. No.
And
he's
he has to know
approaching
that
30.
He has to know that he's not worth the max, too.
Absolutely.
And
No.
I think he does know that.
Yeah, he's his offensive game. He can't shoot.
No.
Period.
Yeah,
If-
we know that.
If this was Draymond in 2015 and 2016,
Yeah.
you might get a deal, a
Yeah.
really sweet one.
But now
too.
you've regressed a lot as
Oh.
far as offense, or at least shooting.
If he was smart,
His assisting and
Yeah.
playmaking game is still really good, obviously.
If he
but
was
the
smart-
shooting part of it.
if he was smart, him and the organization, they'll come together, 5-year deal,
Yeah.
something reasonable, like
Right.
14 or 16.
I'd say it's probably going to be more like a 3-year deal. I wouldn't say
That's-
5.
that's-
5 years for a
yeah.
player like Draymond.
But let's say Anthony Davis does go to LA, Clay and Kevin Durant. They're just like, I like it here. Everything's good over here, right?
Right.
There's no point of leaving. And he's talking about he wants to consistently win.
Yeah.
Would you take the Lakers over those Warriors? I wouldn't.
the only reason
Because
reason
first
I
of all,
would
you're
go
gonna have to trade for him too. Remember Anthony Davis? They're gonna have to trade for him.
the Lakers are. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I would go to LA if I was Kevin Durant is if they get Anthony Davis and have at least Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
But the Lakers are going to have to get rid of Kyle Kuzma.
They're going to have to.
They're going to have to get rid of their entire young core to
Ingram,
get
Kuzma
Anthony
are gone.
Ball,
Yeah.
Hart, all of them.
That's done.
Their young
Yeah.
core has got to go. to
Maybe
get
maybe
Anthony
they can
Davis.
save Ball. I saw some packages that made sense.
They're
where
not
they
going to be
saved
able to
Ball.
save Lonzo Ball.
But I think I would just ship Lonzo out of there too, and
Yeah.
get Rondo back on a contract. Rondo's fine,
I like Lonzo as a player, but he just hasn't been the player that people have wanted him to be. Granted, he's still very young. That could change, but he's going to have to go to get Anthony Davis. Yeah. But anyway, the only reason I would go there is if they get Anthony Davis and there's other buzz about a third star wanting to sign there.
But I don't know if you saw the thing with Lonzo regarding he doesn't want to be in.
Yeah, they'd rather who was it? The Lakers find a third team to send him to that doesn't have an established point guard, and there's really only a couple of those.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like when he goes there, Drew Holiday is gonna be.
Well, no, of course not. Drew Holiday is gonna be their starting point guard. Yeah. But we just mentioned he might get traded too.
Yeah, that's where I was headed. I don't think Drew Holiday is gonna. If Lonzo gets there, he's gonna be their guy, in my opinion. If Lonzo goes to,
do you think they'll send Drew Holiday somewhere he can play and win?
I think they're gonna have to. He's 28.
Yeah. That's true.
What is it, 28? Turning 29 this year.
On a not a tanking team, but a team that's obviously not winning. Like, this is the whole reason for the trade request, is because it's obvious that they're not going to make the playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted this to, Anthony Davis wanted this to work out, but it just hasn't whether it's because of injury, because a lot of their guys were injured, or just it's starting to look like, okay, you're on the outside looking into the playoff picture, and you're about 6 games out, and it's 50 games into the season.
Yeah,
you're probably not going to make it.
Yeah, and I just think, the Lakers traded that trade. I mean, the people in even both the Lakers and the Celtics trade package.
Yeah,
I heard stuff about the Celtics saying if Kyrie doesn't re-sign, the Celtics are going to be reluctant to give up Tatum.
Yeah. No, I would for sure. That's their second best player.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they think AD is going to be a 1-year rental, they're not going to give Tatum up in a trade.
If I'm Anthony Davis, I would say here's a list of teams I would go to that I would consider re-signing with.
I think it's a short
I wouldn't just say I'd say it's probably Lakers and Boston.
I think it's just Lakers right now.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
Because if it was Boston,
I would definitely consider Boston though.
If you want to win, but I think if it was Boston, he wouldn't put Boston in such a bad position right now. I think he would have waited.
Yeah, the Celtics can't trade for him until the offseason anyways.
And
if they can agree on something predetermined, or promise to give them, Tatum, in return for Anthony Davis, if they can agree on that, sometime before July 1st, at some point in the season, then that'd be a weird thing to do, because that'd be a pretty badly kept secret.
You know what this tells me also?
Huh?
I feel like the Lakers know they're not getting KD or Kawhi.
Well,
personally,
that's leading me into my next thing I want to say. I want to bring up 3 things. The first thing, since we're talking about Kyrie in Boston, is I read something that said, from Chris Haynes, actually, the guy who works for Yahoo, ESPN, or he used to work for ESPN. He said that there's growing disbelief, or there's growing belief that Kyrie might not re-sign with them, and might double back on what he said about he literally said he wants to make sure no one else wears number 11 in Boston, and he said he wants to win there, and he plans to re-sign there. To me, you can't double back on that.
That's a primary source.
Yeah,
literally.
He literally said it himself.
I believe Kyrie Irving over what Kyrie Irving is going to do than Chris Haynes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is all just trying to be stirred up by the media, or just rumblings that people have made up. I think the Celtics are going to be just fine, especially come playoff time.
I think these agents, or not these agents, but these reporters like Chris Haynes, get paid by agents. I think he's
to just say stuff and put stuff out there.
This might be conspiracy too, but I think Rich Paul is pulling every string he has right now, and that means using media, using actual NBA players,
reporters, coaches, all
of that stuff. I think he's using to get
Anthony Davis to wherever. Yeah. But the thing I wanted to mention about Kyrie and the growing disbelief, I think I already said it though, is that he's going to be public enemy number 1 in Boston. If he doesn't. Like, you can't come out and say that and then in your heart not plan to re-sign there. So I think he's going to re-sign, and there would be no doubt that he would resign if they get Anthony Davis. There'd be no doubt at all. I still don't think there's any doubt, because you can't just say it in front of the fans and the city and everything.
What percent would you give the Celtics to get Anthony Davis?
Well, it depends, like, because the report is that the Pelicans are going to do this on their time. That was their statement.
So probably the end of the
And
season.
yeah, I'm thinking nothing's going to happen till the offseason because they know that they can probably get a better deal from Boston than they can from the Lakers. The only reason they would trade him to the Lakers now is if the quote was that they're an overwhelming offer.
Yeah.
Which would have to include all of their young core, a couple picks, and maybe something
That's what
else.
I would tell. Like, you can't let this thing get to the off season if you're the Lakers, in my opinion.
Yeah, because then you might lose it to Boston, and then you might have failed to get yet another star player because they missed out on Paul George.
Yeah.
By no fault of their own. Paul George didn't even take a meeting with them. It would be different if he actually met with them.
They should have traded for him.
They didn't trade for Kawhi.
They should have traded for him.
They should have.
Hey, but Brandon Ingram, at least you got Brandon Ingram next KD.
Just really average. He's
Just-
good.
just-
He's a decent young player. He just hasn't quite gotten to where we want him to be.
His ceiling.
I'm not gonna hate on him though.
His ceiling to me is Andrew Wiggins' ceiling.
Stop.
They both already hit it.
They're
They
both
hit their
essentially the
ceilings.
same player
Yeah.
right now. I agree with that.
They're extremely talented.
But
They
don't
can
have the
score.
don't have the heart and passion.
They don't. Have you seen one game with Brandon Ingram? Just tell me, just one game where he looks either genuinely frustrated that he's not like
They're just not aggressive. Neither of them really. It's really
That's
no.
the number-
I can't really
you're not
think of
even-
a game in mind where
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram was the man for a game.
exactly.
Maybe one.
It's like, okay, he's hitting shots over people.
Yeah.
Okay, well, can he get me 35?
Right.
Has he ever given me 35?
Yeah, I think so. But not. It's not like a lot.
I thought they said his career high was like 30 or 29.
Maybe-
and he
maybe
hit
it
a lot
is.
of threes that game.
Maybe it is,
But
honestly, I
guys
don't
like
know.
Donovan Mitchell, right?
Oh man.
Tatum,
I would take Donovan Mitchell over like 90% of the draft class. Maybe
Ben
maybe
Simmons.
almost all of it.
those three guys, Tatum, Ben Simmons, Donovan Mitchell, right?
Those are the three.
And you could say even Luka this year,
And
right
De'Aaron
now.
Fox this year also.
De'Aaron Fox. Those guys have showed me games, even if it's just one game,
Yeah.
where they're just unstoppable at doing what they do. Ben Simmons triple double, like
You're right, and we
15
haven't
assists.
seen any of that at all from Wiggins
I
or
haven't
Brandon
seen
Ingram.
any of this from Brandon Ingram or Andrew Wiggins, where I just look at them and I'm just like, whoa, if these guys can polish their game up, that's it. I don't see Brandon Ingram getting any better than he is.
Right,
now.
and we've seen those type of games
Yeah.
from Mitchell, Tatum.
Yeah, and he's not even
Simmons.
playing defense. It's just, I mean,
Are you talking about Wiggins and
Ingram.
And Ingram?
Ingram's not even playing defense at a high level like he should be at
Right.
6'9".
Right. So let me get back to the the other two
Celtics.
Things I wanted to bring up. I said what I wanted to say about Kyrie
Celtics.
in Boston.
Yeah.
I think he'll stay, especially if they get Anthony Davis. I think he'll stay regardless
Either way,
they
I
have
agree.
their future set up,
I agree.
and they can make a trade for another,
Oh,
superstar.
actually, on one term, I actually would disagree with the Kyrie thing. But get to your second point, because
Well, go ahead and say it before, because they're completely. Well, they're kind of related, but they're not.
I feel like they're going to be related.
Okay, so there's a scenario where the Knicks could potentially trade. That's what you're going to bring up?
Yep.
Okay. There's a scenario where the
Really?
Knicks could trade for Anthony Davis by including Porzingis, Knox, Kevin Knox,
Oh,
Tim Hardaway Jr., and their first
I
round
wouldn't do
pick,
that.
which could very well end up being the number one
Zion
overall pick.
Williamson, I wouldn't do it.
But if it means getting Anthony Davis, and then they have cap space to sign other free agents, they could land Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving if he decides to
Bro.
leave. So
You're
there's
making perfect sense right now, but for some reason, a piece of me is just thinking, Kristaps Porzingis, Kevin Knox, and Zion Williamson. Oh my God,
that'd suck to
he
miss out
better
on.
stay.
That would
he
suck to
gotta
miss out
stay.
on.
Yeah,
But
he gotta stay.
the only
Remember
reason
how
that
good
would be worth it,
Porzingis was?
huh?
Remember
Yeah,
how good
he was
Porzingis
so good
was?
before he got injured.
He was
But think about
Greek
this.
freak good last
Yeah,
year.
yeah, you're making sense too, because
Yeah.
that it would only be worth it if you could see into the future and know that you're going to get Kevin Durant and
Yeah.
another superstar, whether it's Kyrie Irving, Boogie, if he's still the same player, which so far he looks to be pretty close.
Bingo, yeah.
Or Kawhi Leonard maybe.
Yeah.
Depending who's available, who opts out, who does what. The only way that trade is worth it, like you kind of just hinted at, is if you know for a fact you're going to land Kevin Durant
Yeah.
or somebody and another player.
Yeah.
So that might not be worth it, but that's a scenario that could happen where the Knicks a couple months from now could turn into a championship level team.
Yeah, and your point about luring Kyrie was where I was headed, where Kyrie wouldn't resign.
If
And also,
yeah.
you brought up KD too. if you know you're getting Kyrie and KD out of this, then yeah, it's tough. But I know the Pelicans are going to take it. Obviously, there's no way.
There's no way you turn that down.
Yeah, there's no way. Nobody can offer you anything close to that. The Chris Stapps, Kevin Knox, first round pick.
But if I were them, I would wait until the offseason to make that trade.
Absolutely.
Because if you
what
trade
the
for
pick's
Anthony
gonna be.
Davis, the pick might not be good.
No, yeah, the Pelicans
because you're going to
would
win a
tank.
few more games than you might want.
And you can't trade an injured player right now, I don't think. And Chris Stapps is on IR or something.
Yeah, they'd have to wait for the offseason.
Yeah.
But
that's
that's why if I'm the Pelicans, I'm going to wait till I have all the offers on the table.
Yeah.
But then again, you don't want to have this distraction there. So it's a double-edged sword for them.
And New York's a way bigger media than Boston. You'd be surprised, honestly.
Well,
Stephen A was
they're
talking
about the same.
about it.
They're both big markets.
They're both big. No, Stephen A was talking about.
Boston is the sports city, though.
Oh, they're the winning sports city.
Sure.
Like,
you're right.
Yeah, they're a sports city because
if I had
they
a choice
won.
as a superstar where I wanted to play, Boston or New York, I'm playing in Boston.
Boston, they have a better owner, better head coach,
better organization
in
general.
That's it. But in terms of media,
sure, New York. That's the mecca of media.
Yeah.
You know, same with Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So that's the other point I wanted to bring up. There's a scenario where the Lakers could trade, all the young core we mentioned for Anthony Davis.
We just got done talking about Porzingis and Zion Williamson. We gotta go for Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma.
I know.
But
I really like Kyle Kuzma. To me, he's the second best player. He did not peak. No way. He actually has heart and will.
You're right.
And he can shoot.
First of all, we can both agree,
and he's long and can defend.
We can both agree he's way better than Brandon Ingram, in my opinion. His upside is way better.
Yes.
Everything about him. It's funny. Maybe it comes from being a late pick.
Yeah.
But he just plays with a way bigger chip on his
Absolutely.
shoulder. Yeah. And
that's the heart thing I'm mentioning.
Heart, exactly.
Plays with heart and will.
But defensively.
Yeah, that's
maybe people don't play defense.
This is just young players have to learn how to defend NBA players. Like rookies and stuff.
The best two-way players I remember made their bread off of playing defense.
I mean, look at Paul George and Kawhi
Jimmy
Leonard,
Butler,
Anthony Davis.
These guys
two-way superstars.
As soon as they got in the league, great two-way players.
Man,
you could depend on them to lock somebody down.
Yeah. And I just want to give a shout out to Paul George real quick, since I mentioned him. Dude, he's having the best season of his career.
He's moving into the top 5. He's close.
To me, he's top 7 players in the league right now.
Absolutely.
Might be in the top 5 by the end of the season, depending what happens.
Definitely better than Westbrook.
Yeah, he's the best player on the Thunder. But that's not to say Westbrook doesn't have a huge impact on his team.
Yeah.
And he's a good player, obviously.
I think Westbrook, if Westbrook used the same mentality that Steph or LeBron or some of these other guys who are more efficient, he could be deadly. Westbrook.
Well, efficiency comes from putting in the work on your shot and shot selection.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the end of games, his shot selection is terrible, and he's just not a good shooter in general.
Think of it like this.
You're gifted. They were talking about this. Being able to shoot is something you're born with.
Absolutely.
And something you have to work on. And Westbrook hasn't necessarily been born with the gift to shoot by any means. So
not at all.
That's all I wanted to say.
But where I'm heading is, if Westbrook could adjust his game, just adjust it. You don't have to totally change it.
He has, actually.
But I'm saying he's still taking a lot of threes.
Sure, fine.
5 threes a game.
Yeah, fine.
He doesn't need to be taking 4 threes a game.
Maybe 3.
He doesn't need to be taking, take 3 a game. That's it. One of them you got because you're open. One of them your little pull-up BS that you like to do. Just get that out of
He's got a
your
decent
system.
mid-range game, though. But
that's exactly where I'm headed. Change your game into a Chris Paul type game.
Right.
He can pass the ball.
Or a DeRozan type game as far as mid-range shots go.
He can hit mid-range shots.
CJ McCollum game. Minus the 3.
Play some freaking defense. If he plays defense,
he's like number 1 in steals or number 2. He's a pretty good
steals isn't a defense stat in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
Because Steph Curry led the league one time in steals.
Yeah, whatever. I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's because of the defensive scheme that they run.
But they don't need Westbrook to put 25 points on the board.
Right.
They don't.
Yeah.
They have enough talented players who can get points off a fast break. Dennis Schroeder, it's just like, to me, Westbrook's he's changed his game, but just tweak it a little bit to where, you know, the team is more centered around Paul George. 'Cause
Right.
Paul George is better than you right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Yeah.
Well, yeah. All right, we kind of got off topic here, but let's get back to the Lakers thing. I just got a notification on my phone that says, source close to Celtics says Kyrie is genuinely interested in reuniting with LeBron. That is for real. Oh my God.
You know what?
We just talked about this.
I don't see it either.
So here's the second scenario I wanted to bring up.
Yeah. Third,
yeah. Third thing, actually. The Lakers could trade for Anthony Davis, and then they have the two max slots, right, for potentially Kyrie and Kevin Durant, depending what happens. But this report just said that Kyrie's interested in it, and this is gonna be weird because we just talked about. Are you good, man?
Yeah, I'm burping. I didn't want to burp on the mic.
That's fine. You're good. But we just talked about how he can't double back on what he just said.
No.
So where's this quote coming from? It says a source close to the Celtics. What does that even mean? What source?
I believe that there's a source close to them because their sources everywhere, dude.
Yeah, but you left the Cavs specifically to do what you're doing now. Why are you all of a sudden wanting to go back? I mean, this phone call that we talked about on the last podcast.
Yeah.
That created some speculation, of course, but now there's.
And then that post. Man,
yeah.
LeBron really is a puppet master, man.
Dude.
He really can pull strings like nobody else. If he gets Kyrie there,
oh my God,
and Anthony Davis,
oh my God, and
they're
Kevin
still
Durant.
Losing to the Warriors, but that's a legit.
If
team.
you have LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and Anthony Davis.
No. Yeah, I don't think they can afford all four of those.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
If you have Kevin Durant, or if you have Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Kyrie, that's beating the Warriors.
I disagree.
If KD's not there.
I think,
even if he's there,
you can now look at them with the Warriors and look at them as equal in terms of talent.
Sure,
Who's the better system?
I'd have to see how a season goes with the rosters, however they're constructed,
right,
before I say something.
But you're right; their rosters are equal. But now, who's been running the same offensive system for 4 years now?
Steve Kerr. Right. So
chemistry, chemistry's a real thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on Twitter real quick.
Yeah.
See what this Kyrie thing is about, because this is a little interesting. Source close to Celtics says Kyrie is genuinely interested in reuniting with LeBron. That is for real. And then it's from Rick Butcher. I don't even know who that is.
Bucher?
Yeah. Okay. Bleacher Report senior writer. Okay. I don't know about this. No, dude. Kyrie cannot double back on that statement. Or else I would not only look at him differently, but everyone would look at him like a snake.
Flake.
You can't flake out on Boston, dude. Their future is set up perfectly. You've got a young star in Jason Tatum. Granted, the season hasn't been the smoothest of rides, but they're built for the playoffs, in my opinion.
Gordon
Hayward has been, like that anonymous Warriors player said, a liability on both ends.
Even if Kyrie does leave, let's not act like they don't have enough talent. Like they weren't doing it last year.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. But at the same
time,
if
Gordon Hayward, to me, obviously he's done. If Kyrie doesn't resign, I think Gordon Hayward's gone. Honestly, or his contract's up.
No, Gordon Hayward's
3-year deal, wasn't it?
I think it was 4 or 5. It was a max deal.
Oh.
They signed him to a max thing, and he's not doing shit for him. Really, it's gross. It's not his fault. The injury and everything obviously
even
was tragic.
Even when you looked at his numbers in Utah, and then you looked at they gave him $35 million.
Yeah.
$35 million.
Yeah, that is kind of wild.
That's up there with Chris Paul's contract, bro.
Yeah,
and John Wall's. Chris Paul's my guy, you know that.
Yeah.
But that's not a good contract.
Gordon Hayward's a lot younger than Chris Paul is.
Yeah, you're right, man. But he didn't die.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chris Paul's alive.
Man.
Gordon Hayward was resurrected.
Yeah.
We don't know if he's coming back. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be a while.
John Wall is just John.
John Wall is John Wall.
It's just at the club.
Man, I don't know, dude. I'm still hung up on this Kyrie thing.
I still don't think it's enough.
Okay, so let's get into the conspiracy of
Rich Paul.
Rich Paul,
the Godfather,
the puppet, the GM, the puppet master, controlling all these things.
Yeah.
So let's start from the timeline of, or at least some significant events. There was Luke Walton getting fired speculation.
Okay.
Anthony
When
Davis
was
to
that?
Lakers rumors have been going on since the beginning of the year.
Okay. Anthony Davis signs with Clutch.
That's another big event.
Exactly. So we'll start there.
Kyrie's phone call to LeBron. I'm just naming big events that are tied into this.
Yeah.
Kyrie calls LeBron to apologize. Then this drops. So there's a bunch of rumors and uncertainty circulating around right now
But don't
about
you-
all these players reuniting.
Do you
in
remember
LA,
when you texted me?
or uniting?
Remember when you texted me and you said the Lakers putting out their star players? Because didn't LeBron tweet out something? Oh, dodged a bullet. 4 to 6 weeks. That's a long
that's the
time.
other thing.
Yeah.
They're keeping him out. This is part of the conspiracy. They're keeping LeBron James out in order to let the young guys, I guess, get some trade value up and then trade them for Anthony Davis.
Yep.
And that's the reason LeBron's staying out for so long. That's part of the conspiracy.
As soon as LeBron is getting close to return, Anthony Davis wants to trade.
Request the trade. So the timeline of events here is weird. And then you've got this whole Kyrie LeBron back and forth thing.
Literally
LeBron
as
posted
we're
the
talking
thing.
about
Yeah,
it.
right. LeBron posted the thing
Yeah.
on Instagram singing a song called Rewind talking about and tagged Kyrie in it. Like, where the hell did that come from? There's something going on.
Something is going on. I'm telling you, Lakers are slowly becoming public enemy number one for all these small market teams. Because
not only small market teams, but for other superstars.
Yeah.
Or at
You
least
saw-
for fans. Because
you saw that Pelicans tweet.
The media
You could literally hear the salt in the tweet.
Yes.
The anger.
The
They were just like, we will push the league for tampering, which they should.
Yeah.
Because there's tampering.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that's being investigated is
Yeah.
the timing of the request and what's going on, and apparently they're investigating that to see if there was tampering
But
involved.
I think the NBA...
Oh yeah, and then LeBron James and Anthony Davis had dinner after they played.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, but players do that.
Well, yeah, I know,
Kevin
but still,
Durant did it
that's another
I
event.
read an article that Kevin Durant did it with Deion Waiters after like he gamed them that one time.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's funny.
But
I remember that the folding arms at mid-court. Yeah,
Man, Deion Waiters. Man. But
that's been a while since we've heard that name.
seriously. But I think it's a similar situation to where the Pacers were trying to get the league to investigate.
Yeah,
the Lakers,
the
'cause
Paul George thing.
The Lakers, they're meddling, man. They're really meddling out here, man.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Man,
Trade package.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
Knicks
blah.
have a strong chance at KD if he leaves the Warriors. AD is open to New York. Porzingis-centered New York Knicks package is better than the Lakers. New tweet from Shams. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's nothing. Okay.
Isaiah Kanan.
Yeah. Man.
Oh, he
League
died
sources
too,
help
didn't he?
Rick Bucher
Didn't
break
he
down
die,
the
remember?
chaotic trade. Who?
Kanan.
Oh, yeah, he broke his ankle on national TV. Yeah, that was terrible.
That was sad.
Yeah, there's a couple more topics here, but man, I'm hung up on this Kyrie and LeBron reuniting thing.
I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see that either. I love watching
They
Kyrie
weren't a
Irving.
good duo.
They were. Shut
No,
up.
they weren't.
Yes, they were.
Listen, people like to do revisionist history a lot, okay? People say, oh, do y'all remember they go look at the clips and the highlights?
Mm-hmm.
The main reason Kyrie left LeBron in the first place, people were talking about, when you play with LeBron, what do you turn into? A 3-point shooter. That's all you turn into.
You're in the shadow, right?
And sometimes you might LeBron might give you the ball, you might run the offense when LeBron gets tired. But 70 to 80% of the time LeBron was the guy, handling the ball.
Right.
And I thought Kyrie finally got what he wanted. He got his own team.
I love watching him play in Boston. You know when he hits those big shots and he grabs his jersey where it says Boston, he starts flashing it to the crowd and he's hyping and he's screaming and all I love watching him play in Boston for that reason.
Perfectly.
Yeah. And he's the guy they need. Every championship team to me needs a superstar, and he's that guy for Boston. So I think they're capable of definitely taking the Warriors to a 7-game series. And everything Kyrie has said has been pro Boston, and I want to be here. And he can't just double back on that.
He literally fell into a perfect situation.
Yes, he's in a
when he
phenomenal
got traded
yes.
to Boston last year.
Yes.
His people forget his trade requests.
Yeah, it was like Minnesota,
Miami,
New York, Miami,
Minnesota,
and
New York.
Yeah.
It was them three. And guess what?
Didn't happen.
If let's say he gets traded to Minnesota, oh maybe they do something, right?
Man.
Miami, I don't think there's enough talent in Miami. And who was that?
New York.
New York is dysfunctional.
Right.
Boston had a great head coach.
Yep.
A great GM.
Great young
fans
talent.
that get behind you. They
Yes.
get behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Big
can you
city,
imagine how much they're gonna turn
oh.
on him if he leaves, dude? Oh no.
Talent.
You
He
can't
got
do that.
He went to a team with more talent, better functioning, better market. You're gonna go leave that to
Exactly.
LA? It's
And
just,
to me, you can't request a trade from Cleveland so you don't have to play with LeBron anymore. Saying you want to be the leader of your
Then
team,
go.
then get that perfect scenario, then commit to them, and then all of a sudden be like, "Oh no, I was just dumb back then or whatever. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go reunite with LeBron in LA." You can't do that.
that was an odd phone call he made when he told us about LeBron.
That was a little weird.
But now thinking back on that, that was odd.
That's a piece of the puzzle to get all these guys
Huge
to go to
piece
LA.
of the puzzle.
So if all this ends up happening, I wanted to say, if you have those superstars all on that team, no one's going to be turned into a three-point shooter. They're all going to have huge roles on the team, especially especially because LeBron's getting a little bit older.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, LeBron's obviously going to be LeBron, and then you've got these superstar players who aren't going to be like, I'm not taking a back seat to you. I'm not some sidekick, if that happens.
Yeah.
If the Lakers turn into the new Warriors,
Oh.
that would be
sick.
Man,
They got a bunch of new fans this year. It's crazy.
I would love watching them.
I wouldn't.
I just hope that it doesn't, like, you know how many things have to work together and happen in order for that to happen?
Yeah,
a lot.
A lot.
So I don't see everything playing out that way. I just hope.
Oddly enough,
there's parity.
Oddly enough, man.
What?
Anything can happen, man.
Yeah, especially if Rich Paul is involved. And there's some speculation that LeBron might be a part owner of Clutch Sports, so he might have some say in like directing where people under Clutch go in free agency. That's just a rumor.
That shouldn't be out. That shouldn't be allowed. Obviously.
No, obviously not. If they find that thing is happening, there's going to be fines, suspensions,
bans.
They're
going to say AD can't sign there.
Yeah, there's going to
that's
be
the tampering thing. They can't.
Yeah,
sign
there's going to be all of that stuff.
Yeah.
If there's collusion, like you mentioned to me the other day.
Yeah.
But this is all insane, man. I guess we'll have to see what happens over the trade deadline's probably going to be wild. Some more news.
When is that?
Like the off season's going to be insane. It's February 7th. So we've only got like another
Is that
week.
next Friday or something?
Something like that. We've got like 8 or 9 days, I believe. But anyway, this is insane. It's going to be crazy to see if Anthony Davis is dealt by then. I think nothing's going to happen until the offseason concerning big-time trades. I think some decent players might be traded around the trade deadline.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I mean, if all that happens, that's oof. I don't think it is. I think Anthony Davis might end up maybe not even being traded to either of those teams. He might end up with the dark horse teams that we kind of mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And be a 1-year rental, and then they flip him for more assets after the year and a half or whatever. So we'll see what happens. We got some more stuff to get to, but that was the biggest thing.
Huge.
I don't think anything's going to happen until the offseason, though.
Me neither.
And when it does, it's going to be a shitstorm.
It's going to be
By shitstorm, I mean like league-changing.
This offseason with Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis potentially getting traded,
Kevin
Kyrie
Durant.
Irving's free agency, Kevin Durant's free agency. This
Boogie,
could be
not to mention
Boogie. This could be the craziest free agent class of all time.
this
all
could
time.
go down as one of the most insane off seasons in terms of trades and free agency ever.
Earth shaking.
This is going to be like league transforming.
Yeah.
Depending, like if the guys move teams and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Like at least some are. This
Yeah.
is going to be insane. And not to mention like other low key free agents like Tobias Harris, for example,
Yeah.
quality player. So it's
How tall is Drew Holiday?
this
by
is going
the
to be
way?
wild. Probably 6'4" or something. I don't know. Let me look that up. How tall is Drew Holiday? Not your Holiday. How tall is Drew Holiday?
Hey.
6'4". I was right. All right, so yeah, let's get on to these last few things here.
Yeah.
Grizzlies are making Marc Gasol and Mike Conley available for trades.
Unattractive assets.
To me,
Bad contract.
yeah, I mean, you've got Mike Conley, and most teams have a point guard. I don't know where else Mike Conley could really
Me
contribute
neither.
to unless you play him at the 2 for a team that might need a 2.
Nope.
But
Too short.
Marc Gasol to me has maybe a year or two left of being a decent contributor because he's 34 years old.
Yeah.
He's no LeBron James.
Yeah.
But
I had Marc Gasol. I think the Knicks should make him a primary target. The Knicks, because
why?
Well, in the event that maybe they get a guy like, first of all, even if they keep their same team, Porzingis is a 4. Marc
Right.
Gasol as a 5. That's a really good front court. Marc Gasol's a great
Yeah,
player.
but
He's just old. That's
Right.
the problem.
I said this on the last podcast.
Yeah.
I don't trust old Marc Gasol and Mike Conley to lead their teams to the playoffs,
I think
which
he needs
they're not
to be
going
a
to
fourth
do.
option.
I was
Fourth
right
or
about
fifth
that.
option.
Who?
Gasol needs to be
Sure. Sure.
lower.
He needs to have like an Al Horford role.
Exactly.
So, but here's the thing: not many.
Conley's, it's too top-heavy point guards. Too many point guards.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to find a team where he's the starting point guard.
Nope. Not at
So-
$35 million.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Maybe a
no.
2 guard. I think he could play the 2 pretty well.
He's 6 feet.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. To me, he's in a tough situation, but maybe he'll go somewhere. You know, like maybe. I almost said Phoenix or the Magic, but neither of them are going to make the playoffs with the addition of Mike Conley.
You know what?
Especially losing whatever assets they might give up.
Weird side note about Mike Conley.
Yeah.
He's got insanely long arms.
Really?
Insanely long arms. His wingspan.
Yeah, he's a good defender.
His wingspan was literally 6'7" or 6'8".
That's weird for a guy who's not that tall.
I remember I was at Kedron playing basketball.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about players, blah, you know, who this, who that. And I was like, they were like, how tall is Mike Conley? I look it up. It's like, oh, he's 6 feet tall.
That's it?
6 feet
Damn.
with a 6'8" wingspan.
Wow.
I was like, a 6'8" wingspan.
That's a long
6'8"
wingspan.
wingspan?
That's crazy.
Ew, you must be walking around looking weird with a 6'8" wingspan.
Arms down to your knees.
Yeah, you just
right?
like probably look like a chimp or something.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, this has been brewing for a while. Like, they had drafted Jaren Jackson Jr. to build around for the future.
Yeah.
They're kind of older, not great assets to have. So it'll be interesting to see if anything happens with
Boston, I could see him in Boston too. If
Maybe.
they don't get AD, maybe. Not a bad consolation prize. I mean, Horford and Gasol, not bad at all.
Not bad at all. But I don't really like that much.
I feel you.
Marc Gasol's not. He's okay. He's
It's
still
a lateral move.
He's a decent player, but he's not. He's a good player.
Yeah.
But he's not like gonna. I don't know if he's coming off the bench.
I like Marc Gasol.
I like Mike Conley and Marc Gasol, but I don't like them to be the second, third option. To me, they need to be a 4th and 5th, maybe.
I think that's what he'd be in Boston.
Right, but I don't know. Well,
who
would they trade him for, and what would he come off the bench and be a backup 5?
The Grizzlies gotta right now off the top. They gotta accept the fact that they might get Terry Rozier and a pick for Marc Gasol.
Yeah,
and they gotta be okay with it. Honestly,
right?
I think they'd take that.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'd take Terry Rozier. You know, because when he starts, he's significantly better than when he comes off the bench.
And when you have a good system like
why.
Boston, you don't need names become. They don't become like, oh, we gotta have this guy, or we're not gonna be. Maybe for superstars, but for guys who play roles like Terry Rozier, you could find Shane Larkin to do that.
Yeah, you're right. It's been great in those great systems.
Exactly.
Yeah. Last couple things here. I think we hit everything on that. We mentioned Drew, but he hasn't even requested a trade yet. So
he should, and I think Philly should look at him.
That's a good point.
Yeah, trade him for
2
Jimmy
guard.
Butler.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep. Trade him for Jimmy Butler.
We'll talk about that if and when that comes up. But Victor Oladipo unfortunately suffered a ruptured quad in his right knee.
Yeah.
Underwent surgery. Will miss the rest of the season, but he's expected to make a full recovery.
Is there any word on Steph's quad?
Y'all seen the video of Steph Curry wiping out on the sideline, just falling on his face, celebrating Clay's dunk? That was so funny. He's fallen a lot lately.
Man, he threw his towel.
The more you watch it, the funnier it gets. If y'all have seen the video, you know what we're talking about. But it's so funny. The Pacers were poised to be that dark horse Eastern Conference Finals team potentially, or at least a team that could give all the top teams in the East trouble. Yeah. And now that Victor Oladipo's out, I don't think they're not going to miss the playoffs. They'll still give, a hard-fought gentleman's sweep to somebody in the first round, in my opinion. However, or maybe, that's what I think.
They're gonna get swept.
but it'll be hard fought.
They're gonna fall.
Because listen,
It's
they're
a hard fought, gentlemen.
they're a deep team. They're well coached.
What are they at
They
now?
got all
4?
of it.
Aren't they at the 4th or 5th seed?
They're in the third, or I think they're still third or fourth. Look that up real quick. Fact check that.
I want to also see their schedule too, because
well, I just think they're well coached and they're deep. I'm not buying that they're gonna suddenly drop out of the playoffs. You know, I think they'll still give somebody, like I said, a hard fought gentleman. Yeah, they're third seed right now.
Third seed, okay.
But that's not gonna last. They'll probably drop down to, 7 maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
and
6.
then they play the Raptors. Good luck. Or
Yeah.
the Bucks.
Yeah.
Ay, caramba.
Hard fought sweep or gentleman sweep.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
It's gonna be hard fought.
But once they get Victor Oladipo back, then
they were having a great season.
They were having a phenomenal
32
season. 32
wins already.
That's why this is so sad to me, because they were playing so well, and now all of a sudden, their playoff hopes of making a run are gone.
I don't think that's going to be the only. Isn't there always some big injury to a couple teams?
We've seen it.
This
is the first one.
This is the first of it. It always starts now. When your body's
getting 50 games, Mark. Yep.
Your body starts getting more tired, starts wearing on you a little bit more. One guy makes a bad cut, and he's important to your team.
This is usually the durable players are usually fine. We know who they are.
Yeah.
But then those freak injuries happen, and sometimes they happen in the beginning of the season, like Hayward, or we've seen. This is the first of, hopefully not many, but this is the first one. We
a couple.
Every year we've seen the big injuries cost a team a playoff run. Like Kyrie last year, they probably would have went to the finals.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else missed the playoffs last year? We saw it with Boogie in New Orleans. Granted, they made it to the second round, but it's just tough. It's tough to see.
The Timberwolves got put in a bad spot
after Jimmy Butler went out.
They were better.
They could have been a top 4 seed. Could have had home court.
The Rockets had to play.
Chris Paul going out in the Western Conference Finals might have cost them a chip.
It did. I don't care what nobody says. That cost Chris Paul and James Harden the championship, because they were going to beat the brakes off.
Yeah, they would have beat the Cavs.
And they would have beat
the Warriors. They had a
Warriors.
chance to beat the Warriors.
They would have.
I did pick the Rockets in 7 games.
7. I think we would have been right. We would have been right. They were up 15 or 16 even in Game 7.
The Warriors were really close to having a 3-1 series lead, though.
They were close to that.
They did lose the game. Then they lost Game 6 when Chris Paul went out Game 5.
Yeah.
After they took
they closed that one out for CP. Game 6, they were up 17. I don't think they lose by 32. Is that when
this is the most unsafe whatever lead in NBA history?
And I think they would have lost that game too. But Game 7, I think they would have won
at home. Yeah. If Chris Paul was on the floor,
they're
they
not
probably
taking
wouldn't
27 threes in a row.
You never know what happens in hindsight, or you never know what might have happened if this didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So, it sucks, but every year we see these type of things. It just sucks this had to happen.
If Kyrie didn't get
a positive guy, like how important like Victor Oladipo is to their locker room, and he's just a super positive dude. And I know he's gonna get back and be better. Yeah. Because that's just the type of worker and type of mindset he has on life.
They should look to find another star if they're serious about winning a championship. I know they might not be at that stage yet.
Yeah, if they're serious about it, for sure.
Because you're not.
Can you imagine if they still had Paul George at the level he's playing at now?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Granted, they did trade Oladipo.
I still think
trade Paul George for Oladipo.
I still think.
And Sabonis.
I still think they both won the trade, obviously. But I think
I thought that was I thought that was a heist.
Yeah.
When it first happened,
yeah.
But then it worked out for both teams.
Yeah.
So.
Because me and you both thought like Oladipo's alright. Sabonis we don't know. Sabonis is good.
Yeah,
he's probably going to be most improved, honestly. Or he's up there.
Or 6th man of the year.
6th man of the year, yeah.
Jeez, man. There's so many awards this year that so many guys could win. Yeah. It's going to be hard to decide. But you got anything else about Oladipo?
No.
I think we hit it. I mean, it sucks. Yeah, they were a dark horse Eastern Conference Finals team.
But
yeah, you hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
Last thing. Nikola Jokic was suspended 1 game without pay for leaving the bench during an altercation that he didn't get involved in.
Stupid rule.
I don't like this rule.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up because if they don't get involved in the scuffle and they leave the bench area, to me that's not worth a suspension.
No,
it's not even near it. Not even a fine.
No.
They're just going to stand up for their teammates. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Especially if they get involved, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if they just leave the bench, step on the court or step onto the baseline, I mean, whatever. You got any thoughts on that, or do you think it's a dumb rule also?
Stupid rule.
Yeah.
Just pretty much that.
Yeah, last little thing, Spencer Dinwiddie's out 3 to 6 weeks with a torn ligament in his finger. He's been a very key part for the Nets and their turnaround this year, so he'll be back and he'll be fine, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Spencer Dinwiddie's a great player.
Gritty team.
Found a home in Brooklyn, so yeah, I really like Brooklyn. I think they'll give maybe a hard-fought gentleman's sweep.
Hard-fought gentleman's sweep. Maybe they'll win 2 if they play the Bucks. Or the maybe even the Raptors.
Whoever the 3rd seed ends up being, maybe. Nah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Like, I want to see.
They need to win more games.
Yeah. They're still the 6th seed right now.
They could be as high as the 4. You never know.
You do never know, especially with they might be a 5, but then they'll probably end up playing Philly or Boston. You never know what the seeds are going to look like at the end of the year, especially now that the Victor Oladipo injury happened. You said now we know who the top 4 are.
Yeah.
You know, it was the top 4, and then. Hey, the Pacers could be one of those teams, depending, how their postseason run goes. But now that Oladipo's out, that greatly affects it. So, yeah, I think that's everything for today. I'm still kind of hung up on the Kyrie and LeBron thing. To me, you can't make that decision and then double back.
But it's media, so who knows if it's actually real?
Yeah, all of this is just rumors anyway.
Yeah.
So until anything actually happens and is set in stone, then we'll be able to give our solid opinions about it. But it's definitely fun to speculate and talk about things that could happen before they happen. So when everything does happen, because I know it will, like it's coming. This is the NBA. Nothing ever stays the same. Yeah. So I'm gonna listen back to this, see what stuff we said, or I'll remember what we said. And then we'll see what we were right about, what actually happened, and then it could be very different. You never know. So we'll see. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for listening. And leave a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Adios.